You are listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast, a show by personal trainers for personal trainers. It's time to become a better trainer, get more clients, and change more lives. And now, here's your host, the head coach and founder of Fitness Mentors, Eddie Lester.
Hey guys, welcome to Fitness Mentors Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Lester, and today we are getting into personal training insurance. We're basically going to be discussing all about the, why do you need personal trainer insurance, the different types of personal trainer insurance, and then give you a few options so that you can make the best decision based on the type of training that you do, where you train, and it'll really help you to get an idea of, what type of insurance you should have for your specific business. So let's go ahead and jump in by starting to talk about why you might need personal training insurance. And specifically, when you think about the industry of fitness, there is any sort of movement-based service, there is the opportunity for someone to get injured when working out. And actually, there is just in general relating to exercise and fitness, there's over 468,000 injuries relating to exercise each year. And you as a personal trainer are going to be taking people through workouts, through movements that does increase risk for injury, or just can provide itself an opportunity to become injured. So when you think of you as a fitness professional offering a service that does increase the likelihood of becoming injured, it's important to protect yourself. And there's a few different ways in which personal trainers can protect themselves. One of them is to obviously get personal training insurance, as that's going to effectively cover expenses relating to legal fees and or if someone was to take legal action on you and your services. Another way is to form a company or an LLC, which is a limited liability company, which kind of protects you and separates your business of personal training away from your personal assets. I do recommend that for those that are full-time personal trainers that are private or online to have an LLC, as that is a layer of protection to separate your assets of your families, your house, your car, things like that, and separates it from your business and your business assets. So depending on kind of where you're at in your career, starting an LLC is also a great way to kind of provide yourself protections in a legal sense relating to if someone was to take legal action. So beyond that, when we think more on the, we'll say, personal training insurance side of things, you need to think about the potential, we'll say, opportunities that you're putting your client through, or the potential issues that might happen. Something as simple as they're walking on a treadmill and they accidentally trip and fall on the treadmill and get injured in that way can lead to a lawsuit to some respect. So with this, we do have to keep in mind that you want to protect yourself from, we'll say, issues relating to your private business, your online business, and then if you do work in a gym, it's still good to have insurance that covers yourself, as well as a gym will also have their own types of insurance that are necessary to be in operation. So the two real types or primary types of insurance relating to personal trainers is going to be general liability insurance, and then you have professional liability insurance. And general liability insurance is really kind of the most common, and it's going to protect you from financial burden of an accident or a lawsuit. Basically, this can come from something like a client trips on the treadmill or trips over a weight on the floor that you were working with, and they fall and they hurt themselves. This type of insurance can cover the cost of treating that injury. And when we think about, the general liability insurance, this is something that's outside of what we call negligence, in the sense that this was just an accident that occurred. It was more commonly the individual's fault, we'll say, or they accidentally had a misstep. It's not necessarily an act of negligence that the personal trainer did that goes kind of against their professional code of conduct. And that's really where professional liability insurance comes in. This is really kind of errors and omissions insurance. This is basically you do something that we'll say, or you have a client with osteoporosis and you load them with weights, or you load their spine with a barbell squat. They go through the squat and they fracture a vertebrae. Because it is supposed to be within your knowledge base to know that that is not appropriate for a client with osteoporosis, that is considered negligence. And these are the ones that would become more expensive. These are the ones that it's really important for you to obviously do your job effectively, but sometimes things like this can happen. And really, when we think about this, this protects against claims that it was your direct guidance or negligence that resulted in the client's injury, meaning that your guidance led to an injury and it's directly your fault. So once again, for example, another example is going to be if a client were to claim you were not correctly spotting them, and that's why their injury occurred. That's where professional liability insurance can help cover the costs of that. With general liability insurance, your negligence isn't always covered, so it is important to have both general liability insurance and professional liability insurance. When we think of most personal training insurances, those are both included in your policy with your personal training insurance. So really, it kind of depends. Do you own your own gym? Are you training people in their houses? Are you training people in your house? Are you training people in a park? Are you training people virtually online? Are you doing live stream? Are you doing, we'll say, just providing workouts? And all of these things do kind of, you need to factor in when choosing a policy, as you want to make sure that all of what you do is covered. So the question that most personal trainers ask when you're kind of new to the industry is, do I actually need personal training insurance? And the simple answer is yes. And as in my professional opinion, that of fitness mentors as well, is that it is inexpensive to have personal training insurance, somewhere around anywhere from maybe $10 to $15 a month. And what this provides is the confidence of yourself and the confidence of your clients to know that if something was to go wrong, it would be covered by your insurance. If you do not have insurance and an issue happens, you're, we'll say, responsible for paying the costs of the client's recovery or the client's injury. And the client may sue you for further damages based on how severe the injury was. So is that $10 a month worth absolutely having or protection against a major lawsuit that could literally derail your life and your finances? Absolutely. So when we think of the types of personal training insurance and why you need it, and then what types of companies offer insurance, I wanted to provide you guys with some insight on a few different options for you to kind of choose from. And we at Fitness Mentors have partnered with Insure Fitness Group. This is insurefitness.com. And they specifically we chose them as a partner because they specifically cover in-person personal training, private personal training in the gym, whatever that may be, but also virtual personal training. And we at Fitness Mentors know that the future of this industry is so going to be online and virtual that it's important to choose a personal training insurance that does cover both that in-person aspect and that online aspect, because your recommendations virtually can also lead to potential injury as well. And it's important that you make sure that you protect yourself on both ends. Also, our personal training certification, our CPT, we pretty much have made it extremely easy with bundles to get your CPT and virtual personal training certification, 2 different certifications. One teaches you how to train in person and one teaches you how to train online. Those are available pretty much with almost all of our CPT packages in either our Plus bundle, our Pro bundle, our Ultimate bundle. You can mix and match different certifications to make sure that you understand that every ounce of the future is going to involve regular personal training. That's not going away, but then also virtual. And that's the personal trainer of the future. And Insure Fitness Group offers that personal training insurance that covers everything relating to online training. When I say everything, read the exact policy, but it's really relating to everything that you do or things that you do in person and then online as well. So what's great about Insure Fitness Group, and this is something that we really found important when we were kind of doing our research, is they also offer a student discount to get you started while you're studying for your CPT certification. For as little as $50 for one entire year, you can get your insurance while you educate yourself to become a personal trainer. You might be training people as you go through that, like friends and family. And it's going to cover all of that, as well as your entire first year training, in the sense of you study for 3 months and you get that personal training insurance. You have that insurance for 3 months, and then also the additional 9 months after you are certified, so that it's actually a way cheaper option. You can get started right away. And they're really great people over there. And I think that's the first time I've heard of such a great introductory deal that covers so much when relating to personal training insurance. I'm going to put a link to that student discount as well as the Insure Fitness Group in this podcast, or in these podcast notes at the bottom of this video if you're watching on YouTube. But when we think of what's a recommendation of we'll say a total amount of insurance that you need for a typical regular personal trainer. And specifically, we have some guidelines that we went over, and these are actually directly from the Insure Fitness Group's website and their policy, because we feel that aligns with exactly what you need. But they offer in this policy that I mentioned $1 million per occurrence. That's for individual clients. Let's say if you had one client, up to $1 million in coverage for their injury. And then also $3 million per year. So if you had 3 clients that were injured and all of those totaled up to $1 million per person, that would all be covered. Guys, that's a ton of insurance. The likelihood of that happening is extremely low, so don't freak out. But that's just like a great idea of exactly what personal training insurance actually covers. And when you think of an injury happening and your client wanting to take legal action, if you didn't have insurance, that would all be out of your pocket. So that's very, very important to have that insurance. Also, it covers $25,000 in identity protection. So when you think of someone stealing your identity relating to your professional services, things like that may require damages on your end, $25,000 is covered. Stolen equipment. If you get we'll say a TRX stolen at the park or something happens like that, $1,000 in coverage for stolen equipment. Also, $100,000 in rental damage. If you rent space at a specific gym and you break some of their equipment, that can be covered as well. And then also $1 million per occurrence with product liability as well. If you offer a product that helps people get in shape, like your own, we'll say, personal training tool or an exercise piece of exercise equipment, that 1 million right there can cover, we'll say, someone suing that product or suing you because of that product relating. So that's kind of like the basics well, that's actually the best policy that we've found as an introductory policy and a starting policy. But also when it comes down to what we recommend, that $1 million in coverage is very, very important. This one goes up to $3 million in one total year. And, that's kind of the guidelines for what you're looking for. There's also other insurance providers through other certification bodies. NASM has a personal training insurance that they partnered with Next Insurance. That is an option. It is a little bit more expensive, but it can be a great. This one has general liability of $500,000, so not quite that million, but it is an option. This one also offers an optional nutrition and dietary supplement policy, meaning if you were to provide nutritional advice and someone was to become injured or sick from that coverage or that is covered in this policy. That's in their basic plan. They have a few different types of plans depending on what you're looking for. But their pro plan hits that $1 million threshold. This is at $14 per month, so about 70 per year, 162 per year or something in that range. And that one covers that $1 million policy limit. Then their pro plan obviously goes up. If you guys have a ton of clients, it may be good to invest in that top tier policy with an insurance provider just because you have more opportunity to have legal action taken on you. Also, Ace Fitness, they also offer liability insurance through Interwest Insurance. That is another option. Their 1-year policy, the intro price is $170 per year, and it's $1 million of coverage. That's exactly where we want you. And we feel that that $1 million is where you want to choose a policy that has $1 million in coverage at a minimum for sure. Then they have a 2-year policy, which is slightly cheaper for 2 years of the same $1 million insurance provider. And then finally, we have our Sadler Sports and Recreation Insurance. This is a common insurance for people that participate in like aerobics, cardio, aquatic exercise, more like the group exercise insurance. And they have a bunch of different options in this respect. If you're more of a group exercise person, this might be a better one to go with. Once again, I'm going to include all these links down in the show notes for this episode. But really, when you think about that, if you have a group exercise class, this could be a great one because it also covers, products, the advertising, injury, damages to the space that you rented to teach out of, then your legal liability participants. Also, this one does include, which most do as well, any sexual harassment or sexual misconduct insurance. And, when it comes to insurance, you really have to think about, what type of training that you do, the volume of training and the volume of income that you're making from this. If you're a brand new trainer and only have, 4 clients and it's not your primary business, you definitely want to go with one of the lower options because you don't really have that opportunity to have multiple issues or multiple legal actions against you in one single year. But if you're an online trainer and you have 300 clients that you're consistently helping on a monthly basis, it's important to maybe increase your insurance amount just for complete coverage. Also, guys, like I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, an LLC, a limited liability company, separates your business assets and your personal assets. So if somebody was to get injured under your business name or during your training with your business, they wouldn't be able to go after your personal assets because it's basically that limited liability meaning what you're on the hook for, that would be covered. You're basically purchasing extra coverage at a state and we'll say financial setup level, in the sense of the structure of your business protects your business from you or separates you and your business. So when it comes down to choosing a personal training insurance, you need to definitely focus on the size of clientele that you have, how many people, the type of training that you do. If you're training online and in person, which most personal trainers are now doing that, that would be, you definitely want to maybe go with that Insure Fitness because that is going to allow for that online coverage as well as that in-person coverage. Very important for the new age of personal trainers and fitness. And, when it comes to that group personal training, maybe you lean more towards that Sadler. It's really about, how can you set yourself up for protection, protect yourself. This is not a podcast supposed to scare you in any way. It's just, you need to make the best business decisions when you're getting into this industry, and having personal training insurance is a must. And this is absolutely the way to go regarding kind of getting started and then growing with any specific type of insurance and plans. So thanks so much for checking out Fitness Mentors Podcast, episode number 39. Look forward to comments below. Comment on if you're on YouTube. Reach out to me via eddie@fitnessmentors.com. Would love any recommendations if you want specific topics covered for our podcasts. And stay tuned for some amazing guests coming up. We're lining up some great guests for this year. And I will see you guys next week on the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. Have a good one.
As always, thanks for listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. You can learn more about Fitness Mentors at fitnessmentors.com. Be sure to share this podcast on social media. And remember, we are here to help you succeed.